Hello and welcome to today's new edition. Today being the 29th of December. I'm sure every one of us, we are just preparing ourselves for the new year that is coming up in 2 days. So you're welcome. My name is Hope Mlwanda, and today we have something really special that we are going to discuss and talk about. But before we go any further, I would like to introduce the person that is going to help us actually break down the topic. So his name is Mr. Banda Simon. Mr. Banda, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here, and I'm looking forward to the topic or the subject that to discuss.
Okay.
And I hope that the people that we're targeting will be glued to the screen so that they get the necessary information that is needed to help them in their day-to-day living.
Maybe you can just kindly tell everyone where you're coming from.
Okay. Yes. As you have said, like you have said, my name's Simon Banda. I'm coming from USAID Action for HIV. Actually, before we transitioned to USAID Action for HIV, we were known as EQUIP.
Okay.
Here in Northern Province and also in Wapula Province. Okay. So yeah, this is the organization that I'm coming from.
All right. So today we are going to talk about HIV and AIDS actually. But before that, before we even go into the program, let's just go for a short break, then we'll be right back.
We show you how the face of Kasama has changed each and every moment. Our production crew has now advanced in streaming live in full HD up to 4K. Lono Studios is well equipped for the service. We have 4K cameras for high resolution, DJI drone for aerial view, live streaming video switcher, gimbal for smooth rotation of an object, and many more equipments. You can book us for live streaming to render your services in sport activities, church services, road shows, corporate meetings and workshops, social gatherings, and many more adventure activities. Book your session now on 0973 173461. Visit or like our Facebook page at Lono TV. Love ain't no bonus.
Alright, kanshi konso komletu mwena nango komletu tambila elo no komletu mfila tulikuno Lono TV so kutimwa chitafe filafine ngamletu tamba. You share the broadcast so that abantu nabena nabambi bakwato kuchitako benefits. Then also kutimwa shako nama comments mushpe mwine mu box umo mwashako ka comment filafine ngana mkwata question pali HIV and AIDS pantu ala kwato kulanshani efintu ifya lekana elo kabida mshowe efintu fo mkabida okumfwa. Mr. Banda.
Yes.
Nami bwelera nomba. Limbe kutimwa iba kofia abantu ndesu bidabadi ishbo bulwele bwa HIV. But kutimwa chita kofe maybe basically febushe HIV and AIDS ni finshi.
Na tasha sana.
We show you how the face of
Natasha sana wakonfa wesu konse kuntumule tumfwila kabili konse kuntumule tambila. HIV ngefyo fwe bantu abengi twakwata okumfwa information yali tutasana twalyumfwa kweba tyo HIV cha bangefi HIV ni chinshi but then ukulanda pofye pamongo muntu wambela kuchipatala HIV kashishi ako naula amasoja ya muvidi wa muntu akaka shishi aka HIV. It's actually like amalembo ya HIV yamini nako human immunodeficiency virus akaka shishi ngefu nachilondolola kona ulama soldiers aya mumuvili. For example ngachakutila wakakwata akaka shishi kesa mkona ula what we call CD4 cells. CD4 cells, they are the first line of defense muntu uli onse. So that ngachakutila akakashish kaingila kachita targeta ena ama cells otuletila CD4 cells nga kaonaula ero nombe fintu mubiri fyakwata okulubana amalwele ayalekanalekana anesa mukumonekela so nga twalanda pali HIV kashishi
ngelo nomba nga twaisa kuli AIDS
nga twaisa nomba kuli AIDS epalya nachibandela ndokutila kashishi ka HIV kalonaula amasoja aya mumubili ama CD4 cells nga kaonaula nombanisho mubili washalafe open kumalwele ayalekanalekana epo nomba twisa mkumweno kutila au uyu muntu kwena tali nomba pali stage yotuleita ati HIV napita nomba naya onafika pali stage yotuletila nomba pa ni AIDS. So AIDS is simply mean acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. So it's syndrome is basically a combination of different types of diseases.
Okay.
So chisafe papena apa kwebati akashishika HIV kaonaula amasoja shimuno kwebati kuboda kuli amasoja nga bafumako okweno uli onse kutyale ititila fine inkwai efyo chabana pali HIV na AIDS.
Okay, so konsoko mle tutambila mkwai tulela nshanya pali HIV and AIDS. So ochotele lomba kofya filafinga naba kwatama questions kutiba shakofya comment section. Techa question kulabo kutira natu kwataba Mr. Banda Simon abwaba ku USAID action for HIV kanshin ba health personnel. Bushe HIV kuti yaba prevented shani. Nangula kuti twaichingirira shani mukukwata akakashishi.
Wonderful. That's a very powerful and good question. You know, HIV, it's very preventable.
Okay.
It's not a must that somebody afilo kwata kashishika HIV. There are so many preventive measures that you know we find kupatala. You know, these preventive measures kuchipatale chiri chonse you are able to find them. And idio mlechita as you know access ayama services ayakita prevent ukanambla kashishika HIV. You know, we always emphasize kutila it is for free. Takwaba kulipila tatulipilisha yo because we want abantu abali bonse ukuchita access these services. So number one, I'll talk of what we call PrEP.
Okay.
PrEP is basically a preventive measure that we give kubantu before they are exposed to the virus.
Okay.
Aini, PrEP, it's a preventive measure that we give to somebody before they get exposed to kashishaka HIV. Yes. And the other preventive measure, let me just probably mention, you know, these preventive measures.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes. PrEP, there's also what we call PEP. And PEP, basically, in short, is, you know, after exposure. After Muntaba exposed Kashishaka HIV. The other preventive measure is VMMC.
Okay.
Voluntary medical male circumcision. That is another preventive measure. Yotupela pakobatu muntu akana kwambula kashishika HIV. The other one, of course, is what we all know, you know, condoms.
Yes.
Condoms, they, you know, provide a preventive measure. Muntu kana kashishi aka HIV. But all in all, the best preventive measure is abstinence.
Okay.
Yes, abstinence. Akale kunu mogu toileti that abstinence iliche. So chikankala sana, you know, ukuikanya, you know, because nshamfu hapo mukukula kwanti kwa tiyo muntu uyu nafwa pamlandu wakana, you know, kana kwa hata sexy. So preventive measures, number one, abstinence iliche. Let's ensure ukutila these preventive measures tuakwata kufikonka.
Ntamkwai. Ndefo afya mlondolo leko panono pali VMMS. VMMC as a preventive measure limbi mukilondolole fe so that abantu besho babishechibashani
natotelanga nshi
emkwe
mkwai bakomfa wesu konse kumletu mfila natotela sana ili pisholi kalamba sana kabili kankala sana. You see VMMC ipibula kokutila voluntary medical male circumcision kusembulwa kwa nkanda kubwaume kumwaume
kulafuidisha okutira omuntu wekwata akashishi
kulafuidisha pamulandu wakwe bati nga twayingira sana ma details mlesanga kwa bati umwaume nga kyakutila tasembulwile nkanda yakubwaume kuntanshi kulya nkanda ilaba soft so umuntu alaba prone to cuts during the act of sex. So mlesanga ti because the virus itsangwa cause high concentration yaba mulopa mlesanga kwa bati ile akwata utulonda kubwaume kulya it's very easy okwambukilwa nakashisha ka HIV. So ilio wakwata okusembululwa what we call voluntary medical male circumcision ila pela ko that protection ukutila awe teti wangu wakwata okwambula kashisha ka HIV.
And tamkwai so kanshi tuchili tulelanshanya ndesubila abantu nabamba nokula chita share elo kabili nokuchita comment elo kabili ndetontonkanya okutira kwena abantu babili nangu bamukwena bale umfwako nokusenda ko fimwe fintu abantu ilingi inoshita kwadi boku chita testing kwadi baba chita test kumayanda inoshita kwadi bama ayo baletila in home tests emkwai kunganda fye ero kabiri kwaba kona ya kuyafe we mwine wa kuchipatala ero nomba baya kupima emkwai bushe yali ba reliable
mkwai ayama what you have termed kwabati ama home self test sign they are actually very reliable.
Okay.
Now ngatwana they are very reliable nimpamlandu akutila ilio abanensu abafikulilensa kwa hilo bale pangu fifintu bali kwete kuchita research bali kwete ukupima kupisha muli ba machine bachita fyonse fyo bali ngilo kuchita ela basanga kutila awe this self test kit it's very reliable. Mufipatala tuitoko bati Aura Quick. Aura Quick pamlandu akutila that test is done orally to bonfya mufuponshi mkanwa emutukwatila ku ukabonfya kalya kunganda and mostly kalya the target baume foi baume mkwaitwa dishwo kwebati pakwebati uyofike kuchipatala ankwena nishi wafika balasti so kanshi
dashupa ko sana
chashupa umama pakuima fokwati ndya kuchipatala au kwena chila shupa echalengo kutila abanensu basayisa kona kene ekotuletila Aura Quick akakutila awe bana mayo nga bayisa kuchipimo kuchipatala tutwaba pela atwala ko kunganda kuli bashitata kwatawo mune nawe kwato ku konfya kwa katumone bubu populi. Otherwise it's very reliable and the reliability yakutila nga wakabonfya ukulingana nefyo fulo kabonfya ama results ya alafuma nifida fine yalingilo kufuma. But of course there's a percentage of error nga chakutila ta ukabonfeshe ukulingana nefyo kalingilo kubomba.
Okay, I am just apande tontonkanina toke nasenda ero nomba na pimisha nomba tefyo ndineka padia. Don't you think kuti chanko zinga fene mwine limbi maybe trauma somehow kaidi ndifeneka takuri abakutida bamona zo iwe chaba so ero nomba na itisida fene mwine. Do you follow up kwa follow up bale bonsa abasenda to ma test?
Natotela sana. Ilingirine ichi tikachakutila ilio tuwa kwa tokumipela kaliaka Aura Quick self test kit. We always give out number ya kuchipatala or maybe one of the health workers pachipatala whatever results that will come out, please don't forget ukutuma phone so that we make a follow up. So usually and always there's a follow up.
Okay.
Because of course it might cause a trauma for much lander because you don't know exactly how to interpret. you can't even cancel yourself nga chakutya results yafuma nga chakutya yafuma reactive fida kwebati wamuno kwati bimweko obwafya mulira test wakwato ukukwata. So we always give a number ya kuchipatala so that you call us, and then we are able to interpret those results to you, and then we ask you ukwebati either you come back to the clinic or we follow you up kunganda kumweno.
Okay, which brings me to it looks to be a funny question, but it's actually very important. Can someone transmit the HIV virus just by kissing someone?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, Pamela ndwakwebati ngachakutila muliko efilonda mkanwa. Elo kabili gums yale chita bleed. Twachumfa pakubala okutila akashishika concentration yabasana molopaini. So mlesanga ti during ya mle chita kisaini, there's always that exchange of fluids.
Yeah.
Yes, so mlesanga kwati wa kwata kumino mlopa wa mnobe uliokweta kashishi kutuwa kwata kwambula. Then no, it's because HIV teti nando kwati higher concentration ilasangwa mumate. You need to drink about 20 liters of saliva pakwati ukwate ukwambula kashishi
20 what?
20 liters of saliva pakwati wambula kashishi ka HIV kupitila mumate.
Okay. Okay. So now, which brings me back to what I wanted to confirm. You said I am in-home HIV tests. Kubafya kupisha gums. What is in the gums that people should look for or kalaka test of yako for it to detect to say uyu muntu ali HIV positive? MQI.
Wonderful. You see, ngafila nachi Londo la pakutampa. Target baume.
Oh yeah.
Abaume pakwebati ese kuchipatala. Au kwena nishnachishupa. So mlesanga kutila kana kwataka shishi. Viral load, meaning utushishi mumuvili. Not full. Apa diponse makashishi kale sangwa. Even mukanwa, nakwata, a trace of the virus. So, not necessarily a trace of the virus, but the body produces what we call antibodies.
Okay.
So there's a concentration of antibodies mumuvili. Mukanwa na traces ya antibodies yale sangwa. So you find ukwabati kalaka aura quick the self test kit kale chita target those antibodies ale londolo ukwabati there's something going on inside the body. The body is trying to fight off a certain infection mumuvili. So that is what kalaka aura quick kachita target ama antibodies against the HIV virus.
Okay, so kanshi tuchili mkwai tulela nshanya pali HIV and AIDS kanshi ngabalefo ya mkwai okuipsha nangula balefo akona bambi bomfwe kwa mkwai kuti bachita share broadcast bachita ko tag na bambi. So pali kanwa kashita tuwala kwa tako feka breaki panono tutusheko ero turepekane na ambia malbandos mkwai.
We show you how the face of Kasama has changed each and every moment. Our production crew has now advanced in streaming live in full HD up to 4K. Lono Studios is well equipped for the service. We have 4K cameras for high resolution, DJI drone for aerial view, live streaming video switcher, gimbal for smooth rotation of an object, and many more equipments. You can book us for live streaming to render your services in sport activities, church services, road shows, corporate meetings and workshops, social gatherings, and many more adventure activities. Book your session now on 0973 173461. Visit or like our Facebook page at Lono TV. Love ain't no bonus.
Right. Okay. So kanshi tuchili elo kabilina tukwatako nama comments ya moya mwaye shile kanshi twala kwata kofie ukubelenga ko imwe elo nomba tu konka nyepo na program yesu. Okay, so natukwatako bambi kwena balelanda fiati. I'm watching you from Porokoso. Then Chichi Darius on is also saying enjoying the show, watching from Ndola. Then of course we have Gilbert Simutami has mentioned people. Okay. Then kuliko na a question from Sky Munko Busy, who is watching from Isoka. Kwena inalela ndoktila, my question is bushe pakukwata HIV or AIDS ni shumuntu tomfana ngushani.
Okay, twatotela ati ba Gilbert
Aba mkwai
abale tutambila ku Isoka
abantu bas munko
twatotela. It's it's a very good question because ingatwalesha kunshku shakale amalwele ya HIV baletila yasangwa fye pamlandu wabuchinto mfwa yofida yokano nichilalelale elo inga kwato kwambula kashishika HIV but after research twaishile sango kutila awe umuntu uli onse kuti ambula kashishika HIV they are what we call PMTCT babies nalosha mkutila umwana kuti akwato kwambula kashishi kupitila muri banyina bayinanga chakutila bayisa kuchipimo. It is mandatory now kutila uli onse na mayo uli pabukurunga isa kuchipatala kulaba kumpima kashishika HIV because we want to protect the future generation. Children are very important. We want to ensure kwebati we are able to protect them even before they are born. So it is mandatory that we test the mothers. So mlesa ngokwati limbi ba fwenga chakutila twabapima elo bakana kwamba mtu wakashishika HIV ni shichalengo mwana kuba pa danger olo aba pa risk ya kwisambula kashishika HIV. So mlesanga such children, they are born with the HIV virus olo pakupapu apa ya pene akwato kwambula kashishika HIV, meaning banyina balikana ukwambo muti. Then sometimes umuntu kutambula through accidents. Mulamuno kweba tidimbi pamusabo fida pasangwa busanso then palaba ukuchenwa palaba muntu kusangwa ne filonda palaba emilopa so kulaba kusankana fida mlopa so muntu kutayambula so mkwai ndebo kutila kashishika HIV takwaba ti muntu afide fe ukana umfwa yo aba yo nchilalelale yo nchilende yo ile ngambula akashishi awe
so does that mean that abafema normal relationships ero nombaisa quarter in the process?
Yes. Umuntu kuti aba in a normal relationship aine mlesa ngokutila umunankwe tamwevele tashe disclose status yakwe yo nimune naba ifinefi ayo vati yo mkwayu mwine akayishibila ngafyashika efyo fine so mlesango kwa tulio muntu uwakaele aisanga muri mwamuneni mukakubira ngefene mwalanda mchwema. That is why it is always important we advise people before you engage into any sexual activities, come to the clinic, come to the hospital, come and access these services. They are free. Tatulipilisha yo ati yo ba chite lete ngoka 50 kwacha yo lete ngoka 2 kwacha awo imo kuisafe kuchipatala twamipokelela bwino okulingana nefyo twasambirila twamipokelela twakwata okumipima ngachakutira pasango omuntu mokweta akashishi obonsi mwakwata akashishi obonsi tamukweta akashishi kulaba ifikonkapo emkwai so umuntu feine normal relationship naye nokutyasangwa mukakubila.
Okay, so bushe ma symptoms inshiamo oyo muntu engamwena ko tuse apa dimbi mfide na achita test.
Wonderful. Symptoms they vary depending on somebody's immune system.
Okay.
Tumwasango kutila abantu bamo ama symptoms tabakwata bambi balakwata depending on your your immune system. But then let me say that between 2 weeks, 6 weeks, umuntu afuna okwamba okushita produce some signs and symptoms kwati there must be something wrong mukubomi bwanje. Yes, for example kuti umuntu ili wakwa ambula akashisha ini mwasanga ati imbi atampo kwata akafine takalepwa yo akafuba takalepwa panono yo mutwe 2 days 3 days hawe 4 days umuntu oleka di perfect ishibe ichilelengo umuntu okalipa. Those could be signs and symptoms of HIV. Bamkutule kwata to rush bambi lower abdominal pains panono mala especially banamayo you find them a lower abdominal pains yaba more pronounced. Okay. So those are what we call signs and symptoms in stage 1 of HIV.
Okay, so meaning stage 2 is actually advanced.
Well, I might not really say it's more advanced. It's because stage 2, the body is beginning to contain the virus.
Okay.
So the symptoms tayale monekela sana. But mlesango kutila ukumonekela sana ukwaya ama symptoms umuntu alakwata sana ma night sweats apurianga nalala obushikwa ukanshepo alere kwati bachitila pwamenshi umuntu limbichifuba 1 week 2 weeks tachipwe chifuba le kola fye so those are some of the signs and symptoms in stage 2. Kwa stage 3 kwa stage 4, but then stage 4 stage 5 we're basically talking of info.
Okay, abantu ilingi nga tulolekeshe kulabo kwali ba saying balanda na mufupatalo okutila omuntu ngasanga okutila nakwata HIV mkwai the possibility yabo okutila baba reinfected opoyaba limbi kuti mwalondolo ilafi abantu chipidi bulenshi.
Okay, reinfection it's a possibility. Pamulandu wakwe bati fwe bantu iringiri nenga chakutila batulondolwela abanensu bakuchipatala. We tend to put aside the advice that we are given. Reinfection ila chitika pamulandu wakutila as you are engaging sexual activities you are not using protection. So mlesango kutila umuntu wakwata what is called type 1 of HIV adiba pamuti then ayanomba mukulala nomuntu mukulungana nomuntu or having sex with somebody ushaba pamuti but adikwata kashishi or akwata another type of HIV maybe type 2 mukulala nanko kwabula protection then padana po palaba what is called reinfection because alempela ka HIV strand akashumfu omuti akashumfu apo n'omuti bambi mulesanga ko bati limbi ali mwine po omuti ololimbi ala n'omuti bati taba consistent touched idea kukunwa omuti so mulesanga ati achita develop what is called resistance. So mulesanga tuli omuntu ayamkulala nankwe you have sexual activities with him or her akupela ko kashishi akaba resistant akashumfwa umuti
nangubengesha shani
mkwai nangubengesha shani but then nishi mlesango kwa bati who subject you to further investigations noma ishikwala banomukula kuchinja umuti.
Okay, so we've seen or rather I've seen situations where umuntu bamsango kutila iwe now kwa uli HIV positive and then valaikala mlife ya kuchita deny mkwai ushechilenga makamako okutira omuntu afiro kuchita accept to say in a situation ili fichinshi
natotela sana. Number 1 ichilenga ni stigma. Stigma ichitika pamulandu wakwe bati fwe bantu mu community twalitemu okusekana tebonse abeshibwa kwati nalambula akashishika HIV tebonse abala you know abalatira okutira yo apa nshendere wino or no ine child inifi nalakwata okwambula akashishi ka HIV. So you find ukutila umuntu aba mudinayo because stigma ayibati balayanseka bala muno kwe bati kanshine kuti nakwata shano kwambula akashishi ka HIV bambi ngafita twachilanda pakubala okutila ali mu normal relationship but asango kwe bati limbi a first relationship no yumwaume nangu no yumwana kashi but asakwata okwambula akashishi ka HIV. So abamu what is called a state of shock because teshive ichalenga. This was basically the first time that this person had sex, you know, asangwa nakashishi. So abamu state of shock. So that would cause denial. Then the other one, of course, is where somebody just gets into what is called self-stigma. Umwinefyefe palwakwefe tapainowishive umwinefye aishita stigmatize atila kwena ine praise leader ine mama, you know, I'm a public figure. How come kwena nasakwata akashishi? How come nasangwa mu situation ya msangwefi? So that self-stigma na ilalengo muntu abamu denial.
Okay.
Enquire.
Interesting. Ndesubila fwe bantu bonse tule yumfuila elo kabili mkwainga naba kwa questions ama comments filafine mkwai kutibasha pansha popene elo kabili bachitako share na broadcast mwila waktila tulipa Lono TV mkwai aba nga kabili okuchita business na ifwe mkwai balifye aba pokererwa ukukonkanya poneli ya sholo tuimishe ushe HIV ibafe transmitted muma cats, more especially when we talk about cause issue isaba kwati yakosa sana linked to HIV aba sexually transmitted and most of the times kusanga tefchitika nomba ni mumulopa fye mweka emo HIV iba transmitted
awe te mumulopa mweka nachwani na ndoktila a higher concentration of the virus isangwa mumulopa. Even in sexual fluids, but there's a certain percentage yakashishka HIV.
Okay.
Epo tuisa na ifuemu kulando kutila when you are having sex without protection, the preventive measures.
Yes.
Epo tuisa mkumweno kwa but even in the sexual fluids, there's a certain percentage yakashishi ka HIV. So mlesango kwa bati when you're having sex and then umo urobonso abidi mwasa kwata some cuts mlesango kwa bati mlemu even in the sexual fluids as long as there's a certain percentage yakashishika HIV
pamlando akutila nakafula sana
if you're feeling mwalanda mkwa pamlando kwati nakafula sana especially abanensu abakutila they are not what we call virally suppressed because our intention yakutila ilio umuntu abapamuti our aim is that umuntu afile aba virally suppressed akashishi kashepa mubiri akashishi kalala mubiri so that takweto kwambukishako umunankwe.
Okay, and tamkwai elo kabili natukwata kona ama comments. Okay, so natukwata Joshua Banks Sulanji Alelanda, so watching you from Lenga Hills. Thank you so much, Joshua. Then natukwata Nabwale M Sydney Alelanda watching live from Lenga Hills. Thank you so much. And we also have Chong Tor Alelanda watching live from Tazara compound. Thank you so much. Elo kabili natukwata na Martha Mwape. Then nakwata Ilipshred Letila. I'm watching, okay, comment ileefi. I'm watching from Kasama. How can you treat this same HIV when the body starts changing?
Okay. Twatotela atba Martha ini wonderful. So how can you treat malwele HIV when the body has started changing? You know, this is where pamonga fwe babombelako kupatala tulanda okutila, it is better you go for a test. What we try to avoid is you get to a stage where we might deem it to be too late. Because when the body begins to change, it means now you're getting into a stage of AIDS. Now ilo mwangila mu stage ya AIDS mulesangwa kwa bati kwaba nomba malwele ayakalamba, major diseases mwasangwa kwa bati mwakwata kwa what is called KS, Kaposi sarcoma. This is a cancer of the skin. Mwabako na pneumonia au nomba bapwapwa batebelelwa mwangira nama TB. So you find ukutila when you reach that stage umubidi watebelelwa wambo kuchinja. So at that stage epo tulesangwa kutila sometimes it can be what is called a lost cause or a lost case, because there's so much that the doctors can do, but then it all begins with you. Ibyo taula tampa nefya kulwalidila kabya kuchipatala uyopimwe, because ili wasangwa na kashishi this time there's what is called test and treat. Tatule lole lati yo kabiye ukambyo kulwala yo kabiye CD4 count festi kabwele panshi amalwele nga tampo kufulafula romboke se tampo muti akale yes efyale chitika. But this time around it was discovered to say even if you send somebody back home, it doesn't change the fact that they're already infected and they're still passing on the virus to the next person and the next person and the next person. So mlesango kutila this time tulebo kwa bati papene twakupima ufuile watampa ukunuwa muti to avoid umubili ngefe balanda bamatha tunomba umubili nishina omba kuchinja kushemwa. How can you treat this disease or this virus? It is, we are able to treat but we are not able to cure. Treatment is there but there's no cure yet, so we there's medication, ARVs, antiretroviral drugs that are there, to be given to anybody that has been found with the HIV virus. So we treat.
Okay, so talking about couples, couples abantu babili, either they are in a relationship, they are not yet married, because that is a factor to change. There are people who are in relationships and they're having sex. And also to those that are married, how ngachakutila pali umo nasango kutila nakwata HIV kutiba mpana shani, how can they have kids? Because awema questions where abantu bepusha bala kwata ma question marks uyu muntu nari mutemwa, is there a chance that I can even have sex without a condom? All those questions, how can they manage themselves?
Wonderful, very, very beautiful question. It's very easy, for a couple, married or not married, to still live together, to see have healthy children together, if and when they adhere to what we tell them to do.
Okay.
For example, a couple walks into the clinic. Pima umafuma positive na kashishi umbi takweta kashishi afuma negative. We always encourage them to say they need to support each other. They need to be there for each other, because akashishi cannot come in between what they've already built, because they've already built a relationship which is very cardinal, very important. So we straight away begin the one with the HIV virus on treatment, and the one who is negative, we begin also to offer PrEP, so that tambwi lakashishi aka HIV, because tulefwa yoktila, those who are HIV negative, they remain negative. Those who are HIV positive, they learn to live with the virus, and by learning to live with the virus, they should be able to adhere to what we tell them. Number one, they must take the medication at the right time, the correct dosage, and then they must, change their lifestyles. because here we are talking of behavioral change.
Okay.
People must learn to change. Fidya bali akale tefe bali nomba. Something has taken place.
Okay.
Something has changed. So they must also begin to adjust to their new lifestyle.
Yeah.
So umuntu kwetaka shishi nga kyakutila alenwa bwino omuti kulaba stage mu asafika po kali akashishi kalaleko kuchita multiply mu mubiri ila kaleko kuchita multiply mu mubiri nishinomba aba virally suppressed.
Okay.
Ngaba virally suppressed nishikali akashishi, it is no longer detectable in the body. It doesn't mean apola. It doesn't mean akashishi akanakapwa mu mubiri.
Yeah,
Yo.
because I really had questions on that, and I'm glad you've actually tackled it. Yes.
Wonderful. It doesn't mean kali akashishi nakapwa or napola uli muntu iyo. No, he or she is virally suppressed. Kashishi kachepa maka kalala, so that the virus is no longer detectable in the blood, in the body. So ilo kava undetectable, it means touch the transmit kumunankwe.
Okay.
So there is a saying which goes like you equals you.
Yes.
Undetectable
It's
equals
and
undetectable, meaning equals to and well, you cannot pass it to your friend.
Yes.
You cannot give it to your friend.
untransmittable.
Untransmittable. Thank you
Yes.
so much. So it cannot be transmitted. So now, because it cannot be transmitted to the friend that is negative, it simply means pajanavana kuti mwakwata abali very healthy abashikwete nakashishi aka HIV.
Okay. Nice. This is getting interesting. Undetectable is equal to untransmittable. Then not Kwatanama comments. Florence Lee someone saying you is equal to you. And then Leopard Man is saying, is there a specific time a person with HIV who lives on Earth is there a specific time, meaning, okay, I'll explain that one. And is it okay to use immune boosters together with ARVs? Okay, so the question here is the life expectancy of a person ukwete HIV. Bushakwali bako nshitaimoyo engekala bushenayadi chepa bushechaba shani elo kabidi, is it okay okubomfya my immune boosters whilst you're also taking the ARVs?
Okay, very wonderful and beautiful question.
Yeah.
Umuntu kwetaka shishika HIV, as long as baleshta adhere fyo to beba mufipatala, there is no life expectancy yakutila yo ukekala for 10 years, ukekala for 20 years. No. Mulesango kutila, even if umuntu nakwata akashishika HIV, that person aleno wino mtaleko wino wino fetulemwe bana kushipatala is able to even outlive somebody who is HIV negative. Lesanga tushkweta kashishi afu hapo wangu kuchila ukweta kashishi aka HIV. How come? You know, it's because muntu alesha idea wino fetulemwe ba umutu aleno panshita fidia, especially abantu ngachakutila, you know, certain lifestyle yakale bachinja wino and wangu lesanga kwati they begin to live a healthy lifestyle. And their lifespan, if you're no more, they're able to achieve their dreams, they're able to achieve their goals, they're able to achieve anything that they've set out to do in their lives. Then the other question is it okay to include the immune boosters?
Yes.
You know, uyumuti wama ARVs aini. Limina bonfya ko ekibembo kutila
sana pakti bachite understand
wali suswa wali pita muri ba mashini bali pima pakwati bese baulete nombo kwati abantu bambi okunwa kwena nishi bali chita research, bali chita ma experiments, and bali muno kutila no uyumuti taukwete what are called adverse effects towards health ya muntu but nga mwasaleta ko ifuma immune boosters mulesanga okutila fileta fyapi mwayo ba fileta fye we don't know the toxicity of filefuma immune boosters wamo kufinwa wabika pona ARVs. You are now beginning to overload your system uleo now la liver because the liver filtration system yanshi ya mubiri wa muntu coupled of course with the kidneys but the liver emofia mukupita bwino pakweba ati file fwaika mubiri wa bonfya file fwaika fyaposwa fyafuma mubiri but then ngamlebika muna fimbi fuma immune boosters yo wabika mwefi no wabika na ARVs because ARVs muti ukali sana ero wabika pone fuma immune boosters if yomletile fuma immune boosters inshinomba mleo na ulovu mibwenu mleo na ula liver so it is not advisable.
Okay, thank you so much. And this will be a leopard man now for kwena obulondoroshi ubwasuswa wapita muri ba machine and tam kwai abantu makamaka kumisepela and this will be la fimo if you're tumfwa ilingirine. Just a quick one I think before tatula apa break bushe umuntu kuti senda kashishika HIV through oral sex.
Okay. Oral sex. Bushe kuti tina maybe let me start by saying this. Oral sex bushe twachifunya kwisa. Fwe bachifita. Fwe ma Africans. Twachifunya kwisa oral sex. Nga twalolesha oral sex tule chileno ndo kutila wala bomfya kanwa hapo takalingile wala bomfya kanwa hapo takalingile numba ili ole bomfya you are going against what God has designed the specific parts of the body how they're supposed to be used what they are used for wabula kanwa nomba mwamboku ukulabo mfyanomba either kubwana kashi olokubwa ume oral sex yotulela ndapo elomle ibshoko bati nomba bushe muntu kutambula shana kashishi it is very possible okwambula kashishi ka HIV through oral sex. Number one twachilando kutila sexual fluids kashishi mukati ibina ukwatana iflonda mkanwa au kwena wa lamu amkishako mnobe wala mpela ko akashishika HIV. So it is very possible ukwambula akashishika HIV through oral sex.
Okay. All right. So we're still talking about HIV and AIDS, and in the studio I have Mr. Banda Simon, who is from USAID Action for HIV, which was actually previously known as Equip. He's a health personnel. So at least we've gotten something from what he has said. So we are going to go for a short break, and then when we come back, we'll carry on with the rest.
We show you how the face of Kasama has changed each and every moment. Our production crew has now advanced in streaming live in full HD up to 4K. Lono Studios is well equipped for the service. We have 4K cameras for high resolution, DJI drone for aerial view, live streaming video switcher, gimbal for smooth rotation of an object, and many more equipments. You can book us for live streaming to render your services in sport activities, church services, road shows, corporate meetings and workshops, social gatherings, and many more adventure activities. Book your session now on 0973 173461. Visit or like our Facebook page at Lono TV. Love and nobleness.
All right, so it's love and nobleness. That is what we stand for. Okay, so mukukonkani hapo. Elonde subirana kashitana kena kale utukafidia but stage yako shoksa kama na make sure at least ama tontonka nyo nama questions yo mkwato kutilo mga kabido kipsha tukwato kulansha nyapo. Mr. Banda, nga twalolekesha twalimona ama non-government organizations yengi sana yayima mukutila balwishe ubulwele nokutila bubwerere panshi nomba naye twaisa umfako ku news abamba okulanda okutila kwena ama cases kumisepera na amba ukunina ushechingalenga sana ni chinshi.
Okay, thank you so much. You know, shiletupela okusakamana sana. Ilio ama cases ya HIV yale umfika ole yale moneka ngokula ila kopamulu mumisepela. Ichilela ndokutila imisepela ifya kuchita afula. Elo tabalefu kumfwa no kukonka ifyo abaku kuchipatala ifyo balelanda. And mlesa ngokutila most of these cases when we go around mufipatala imisepela actually sangwa ma cases ya HIV. You 21 years, you 19 years, you know, just like that, you know, the teenagers. You know, this is basically telling us that there's more that needs to be done, especially that you know, programs like this one. We need to be having, you know, many programs like such, so that we reach out to the targeted you know, groups. So imisepela balefwa sana sana ukula isa kuchipatala. You know, there's kuchipatala, there's a youth friendly corner. You know, kwali wama daisy ayo tukumana just dedicated to the youths, so that, because we understand that youths have their own unique questions, experiences, you know, what they go through. So we have you know, programs tailored for such young children,
Yes.
so that they're able to get the necessary and desired information and services, so that you know, these cases kutila, you know, abana nono ebale sangwa sana ukobate ebale lwala tumefa yapwe, because according to, you know, USAID, they have an objective which says talks of the 95 95 95. You know, when we talk of 95 95 95, we're simply saying 95% of people who living with the HIV virus, they must be tested. You know, and they must know their status. And then the other 95% is that people that know their HIV status, people who are HIV positive and they know their status, they must start treatment. And then the other 95% is people who are on medication. They must be virally suppressed.
Undetectable.
You is equal to you. Undetectable equals untransmittable. That is our desire. So mwemisepela mwewale tumfwa mwewale tutamba nalomba iseni kufipatala mwise mmone ifyo twala afuirishanya. We are not there kusa mkumikalipila iyo. We are there for you. We are there as your parents. We are there to ensure that you get the best service possible to help you in your lifestyle. We don't want to lose the future generation. We don't want to lose the future leaders. Now, you know, the future leaders ngachakutila pali no ineshta yakwata ukupwa yakwata ukonaika kwena nomba nchichalo chala pela kwisa.
Okay, and lastly, would love to find out tulamona kulema COVID vaccine anaba nafenga bafya rokwadi bama BCG imnyele tisha lekana ishingirila abantu. But then when it comes kuma ARVs, takuwa bako initiative ya kutila bako atafenga ninyele tipa kutila, they don't always have to take medication na ngumu tibale enwafya.
Okay, wonderful. Talking of vaccines, na totela mwa kata kona kuli COVID-19 ndelomba wema shala swa zeni mulaswe
Mukulaswa.
imkwayi wise mulaswe abafyashi baletulasha ama BCG usheto walifuile atwafwayo you know they were there to protect us so ndelomba kufa bashilalaswa come to the clinics send kuma hospitals mulaswe it's free kwayi ndebwekeshapo it's free katule lipirisha ule milipirisha mwikateni mutwale ku polisi ofiro kumukaka emkwai. So now coming back to the question Ukutila, is there a vaccine where somebody just comes to the clinic, comes to the hospital and they're just injected, thereby preventing them from taking ARVs orally? Well, kuno kumwesu kunaivatimbi kwa Africa, or maybe let me talk of Zambia. Tatula kwata.
But
Kubasungu, it is there.
Okay.
But I want to believe that it is still in its initial, stages. They are yet to ensure that it is safe. And once it is safe and it is made, available to, the third world continents or the third world countries, it will obviously come. Gefine kwa bamayara vizi, fine mufpatala. I'm sure even in the long run, kesa kwata ko nshtea kwa wati, waisave kuchipatala, mkwa bakutunga 6 months, wadila bako fyakunwa, umuti. Because I know a lot of people are, mananda tao kwena filanasha, yo kwena dionse, no, nwafe, yes. I'm sure, wanenso abasungu, ama scientists, they are there, finding out, researching, and they are yet to discover. And once they discover, such a vaccine, yes, it will be made available. Kuri fovene pakwati mkwai kuyatanta mafie bakulasa patila baba. I see you after 6 months.
Okay. So we've come to the end of the program, but before that, please, you can just your last words.
Wonderful.
To the viewers.
Okay, thank you so much. So, viewers all over the world, wherever you are watching us from, I want to thank you for taking this time to, sit, in front of your TV screen, watching and hearing, listening to what we are saying. And that, fionse fatwakwata okulanda muli programu twalombo kwa bati mwenga senda po fya chimyangu kila mwakwata okufiba omufya. So tieni tuitwe kufipatala for prep eko yaba VMMC eko yaba. And talking of VMMC, na chilaba maybe just a quick one. VMMC, it's a very powerful preventive measure because ila fuidishako no can transmit what is called the HPV, the human papilloma virus. It's that cause cervical cancer. Yeah. Because ushla sembululwa, it's very easy ukusenda ka human papilloma virus just around the skin, inside the skin ngata sembulwele, then aya lala no mwana kashina asenda ka HPV mwana kashuko itakashishi aka HPV aya lala no mwana kashi hamupela kashishi ka human papilloma virus kakashita causing cervical cancer. So na VMMC nayo ila chita bwino kwa fuidisha kuchita prevent ukuchita transmit akashisha aka HPV. So ndelomba koktila, please let's follow the measures that have been spoken of on this program, and let's ensure that we walk into any nearby facility, clinic, you access these health services. We are there for you. And when you come, please in the workshop, it is free. These services na papa tande komaila po free. Thank you so much.
All right. So thank you so much, Mr. Banda Simon, for coming to this show. All right. So let's just peruse a little bit with it. Okay. So Florence Lee, someone saying, personally, I feel the young adults and youths really need a lot of help when it comes to enhanced adherence counseling, because only a few living with HIV have truly accepted their status. So that is a comment. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, we've come to the end, but before that, to Northern Province, to Kasama, we just want to let you know that there is an ongoing competition. First in Chirondo de Buino. E competition ilipa kubako. Kuliukwisa mku, kuliukupanga ama advert sign. Nga bampela instrumento kunokulono bampela instrumento. Elo mwachita record advert. Ukutwala kuisa. Oyo bakesa salapo nomba. Show winine advert ya wamaponisa. Mwadishi wa mkuwina mlabe chilambu. So for tufilefu afyo kumeba fya kutila. Kuwa mwishi befe na mwebe nenga mwadishi watu. Okay na liba creative. Tule mita. Ukuisa isa. Mkese senda fe beat kuno. Nga mwasenda beat. Mkaye kudia kuisa ku studio. Mkese panga ama advert. Nga mlefo kuishibila poefingi. Mkese tusanga kuno kuine kulono. Tukakwato kumilondo lwela bwino. Amashnandi. Ninevo Hope Mluanda. It's a good night from us, the Lono studio, to you guys.
We show you how the face of Kasama has changed each and every moment. Our production crew has now advanced in streaming live in full HD up to 4K. Lono Studios is well equipped for the service. We have 4K cameras for high resolution, DJI drone for aerial view, live streaming video switcher, gimbal for smooth rotation of an object, and many more equipments. You can book us for live streaming to render your services in sport activities, church services, road shows, corporate meetings and workshops, social gatherings, and many more adventure activities. Book your session now on 0973 173461. Visit or like our Facebook page at Lono TV. Love ain't no bonus.